about 22 years. And just push over here. All right. I'm just going to kind of get into it because there's a couple slides to cover, and I know it's a little bit late already, but feel free to relax. Market America basically was founded in 1992 in a little town in New Jersey by J.R. Reidinger and his wife, Lauren. And today, as you can see, a little company from a little humble home into a large company of, how many rooms are there? I'm not sure, but there's a lot of offices in there. It's in Greenboro, North Carolina, and it went from a little house to a large one, large building. Market America, basically what is it? It's a product brokerage company, and we'll explain that later down the road. But you're dealing with certain products, and brokerage means that you're dealing with products that you actually don't need to produce. And it keeps up with the latest of all products as you go along. It's kind of like if you think of an MP3, which is pretty top of the line. Who remembers the 8-track players? Right? And then you kind of go into the cassettes where you have to rewind them with a pencil. Remember all those? And it melts in the car. And then you kind of move up a little bit. But that's what we do. We move up with the trend. So we move up with the products as well. We're an internet marketing company. Of course, internet's a big boom, especially in the 90s with the .com and everything else. And who doesn't go on the internet nowadays, right? Bill Gates' big dream, everyone in every house. And a lot of it specializes, what we do also is specialize on one-to-one marketing, which means it's more personable, just like I'm speaking to you, and I come up to you and I'm talking. This is how personable we want to be. And then we have social shopping. And who doesn't like to shop, right? So that's what we do, right? We go to work and we shop when we're not working. Okay. I like numbers. As a dental hygienist, I teach a lot of my students. Jasmine knows this as well. I'm a number guy. In the dental field, you only have to learn to count to 32, which is wonderful. So you don't need a lot of math. But when it comes to this, why 32 teeth, right? We do something called a disclosing index, and with an index, you're dealing with numbers. And what do we do with the disclosing index with our patients is, you color their teeth red, and you can see how well someone's brushing. This is what I do in my career. And then you can kind of keep track how well they're doing. Well, in terms of numbers with this company, if your patient, if for instance, my patient's doing well brushing, you're going to see the numbers go up. And they're going to do a lot better with that index. Well, with this company, actually, this is the only company that I know of every quarter, every 3 months, since they started, has created profits. Okay? There's a lot of companies out there, a lot of big companies that are already losing money. But this company, actually, if you look at the progression, we've already accumulated almost $5 billion since its infancy. That's amazing, starting from nothing to $5 billion. As you can see, a lot of the money that's earned through the products is given back, 55% on the dollar. So who in their right mind, if you own a company, would give more than half back on the profits, right? You don't see that. You see the top dogs getting millions and everyone else getting $12 an hour. Look at McDonald's and all those other places. But if you look at all these faces, we've created million-dollar members. I believe we have over 400 millionaires since we started the business, and I believe 10 millionaires are created every 6 months. That's huge when it comes to being able to share the profits. And we have such a great CEO, and we'll explain why we're able to actually share that. So you have a lot of faces. These are all personable. You'll probably meet them somewhere if you decide to kind of check the business out a little bit longer. You'll meet a lot of them. I've already met a couple of them. As a matter of fact, if you look behind, Danny, who's our speaker, is actually in this club. Okay, he's one of my mentors. So a lot of them actually will help you, just as they'll help me, and we help each other because we are a team. And as you can see, the estimated profits on the bottom and the commissions given out is more than half of what we made in the business. The company itself operates globally, which means more than half the world doesn't even really know about us. So to be in this business now is amazing, because you're gonna be one of those if you decide to, and it's all a choice, right? Right now we have companies that operate in the United States, of course. Here above us, Canada, you have Mexico, Australia, Taiwan, Hong Kong, United Kingdom, and then we've just opened a lot more. And there's a big possibility. I believe it's where are the other ones, Rob?
Guatemala, Costa Rica.
Guatemala, Costa Rica. So you're looking at a lot in the Central Dominican Republic. So they're spreading, okay? So if you want to get your hand in the cookie jar, this is the way to do it. All right.
August, Philippines.
Yeah, Philippines too. So all the red right there. I mean, look what we haven't covered yet. It's amazing how much money is out there to be shared. All right. Right now I'm going to introduce Robert. He's one of my mentors, direct mentors, helping me with the business. He's been in the business for about a year, coming up a year, and he worked with my father in the DOD. He's former military, 22 years. Now he's government, which I can't tell you what he does. He might kill me, so we have this in I'm just teasing. But he's basically moving up the ranks, and I'm right behind him, and he's showing me the ropes, and I'll let him finish up from this point. So, welcome, Rob Hartwell.
Thank you. Good evening. This is a big crowd. I feel like I'm in church, But having said that, you can pass the collection plate. I got my mortgage coming up, But I really say that for a reason, though. Like Reggie said, I'm former military, 22 years, Air Force. Don't hold it against me, But I also work for the government. My wife's an accountant for the Census Bureau. And I'm actually turning 50 tomorrow, by the way. So I'm getting old, But one thing that struck my wife and I as we move along through the 45-year plan was we needed a plan B. We have a great plan A. We have a great home, great livelihood, and we've been doing well in the 45-year plan. But what's scary is what's after the 45-year plan. We have a great retirement plan. I make my own retirement right now. But when you reach the age of, 65, 75, that retirement money ends up diminishing a little bit. So it's scary. You Filipino? But there's, in our culture, we actually take care of our family members, And, well, my kids are growing here, so I don't expect that. So we have to have a plan B to maintain the lifestyle that we currently have, and we want to maintain. So how do we do that? Well, the reason I mentioned the home earlier, that became important. The biggest expense we have is our mortgage. Unless there's somebody in here that have a little bit more expensive bill, but it's really the mortgage. So it was a scary thought that it took 30 years to pay off a house. So it took us forever to refinance our house, but the goal was to pay it off before 59 years old or 60 years old. So last year we were able to refinance our home, fortunately, to a 15-year mortgage. So now we're on target because we're paying bi-weekly and able to do that. Well, the second part to make life better for us after retirement is to replace the income that we're going to lose upon retirement. And what do I mean? Anybody work for the government here besides me? Okay. You probably understand that you gain 1% a year towards retirement for every year in service, correct? So I don't know what your retirement plans are if you work outside the government, but for me, who's been in the military, by the time I retire, I've worked 15 years. So I lose 85% of my current income upon retirement. Well, my wife, after 30 years of service, loses 70%. So between us, we lose about, 155 to 160% at an age where you need probably your most income. So we had to find a plan B. So what were the options out there? Franchises. The cheapest I found was $125,000. It was called Sports Clip. You didn't even have to know barbering to get into Sports Clip. But it took $125,000 plus a storefront, which actually ended up being around $300,000 to $350,000 by the time you're done. And the return of investment is it's pretty lengthy, right? So that wasn't an option. So we've heard about this company, but we never got into it because I was skeptical at first because of like certain business models that you see when you get invited to certain events. But my wife, when she saw it, she's an accountant, but she's not a business person. When she saw it, she was like, wow. I was the skeptic. And then we went to a few events, and then boom, we realized it's a great business model. And I was in 2 businesses before, and I didn't make money. In this one, within a few months, because we're very aggressive, we started making money. So what I'm saying to you tonight is, this may be for you or may not be for you, right? But consider a plan B. And I'm hoping that you consider this, right? So basically, like Reggie said,